Hi everybody, it's February 25th, 2025, and I'm posting these videos as a form of therapy to recover from the trauma of watching my little brother, Paul Kierans, 64 with Down syndrome, be locked up for 588 days by David Eby, the leader of the British Columbia New Democratic Party. And Paul was locked up for 588 days after I complained to the police about a fraudulent and forged power of attorney the government created to give Paul the COVID-19 shot on February 6th of 2021. So the government named my 82-year-old Catholic nun sister 4,000 kilometers away in Ontario as Paul's guardian and substitute decision maker, because they wanted to do an end run around a different. I have another sister who's actually cared for Paul, like I have, who lives on Vancouver Island, and she's an anti-vaxxer. So when I found out that they had created this fraudulent and forged power of attorney, I complained to the police, and the police didn't. The police officer I spoke to said that she would get she would subpoena the original, or get a search warrant for the original document and interview the witnesses who are low-level caregivers at L'Arche, the residential group home, L''ARCHE. So the RCMP officer didn't do any of those things. She just went to the group home and tipped them off that I'd complained, and they terminated permanently my visits. I got a letter from their lawyer, Tara Britnell, saying, "You'll never see your brother again." Can you imagine a government, an agent of the government, which is what Tara Britnell was acting as, telling you that you'll never see your loved one again? Like even prisoners in maximum security prisons are allowed to visit with their family members, but they wanted to lock up Paul so that I couldn't have him tested to show he wasn't capable of appointing a power of attorney or a substitute decision maker, and that it was a forgery. So they locked him up for 588 days, and then I believe they killed him. The nun flew out from Ontario, and she at that point, they allowed, after Paul had had some kind of stroke, he was in Burnaby Hospital on April 13th, and the nun flew out. She didn't get here till April 15th. She allowed me a 10-minute visit per day, and I could see that Paul was recovering. He'd had some kind of brain incident. He had a wound on the side of his head that was oozing blood. So he might have been hit. He might have been injured by someone. He might have fallen. I don't know. But the nun only allowed me a 10-minute visit per day. So I just waited in the lobby for 10 to 12 hours a day for the 10 days that he survived after that. Paul was struggling to recover. I brought him a book that a neighbor gave me. He grabbed the book from my hands and started turning the pages perfectly. He grabbed my hand when I said my name and squeezed it so tight. I don't know if he would have recovered. It's unusual for someone to die from a stroke in this day and age. The treatments for stroke are so powerful now that most people survive them. But I believe my sister wanted Paul to die because she couldn't afford to stay in British Columbia. She lives in a convent in North Bay, Ontario. So she ordered that they remove his oxygen mask and that he be sedated to death. He was very bright and active when I first started visiting him. And after the nun found out that I knew she was being investigated for the fraudulent and forged power of attorney, and that she didn't want Paul to be available to be interviewed by the police, she had his oxygen mask removed and had him sedated to death. Everyone that I've spoken to said that it sounds like the hospital did medical assistance in dying on him. Canada has Justin Trudeau, the first thing that he did when he came into power was he expanded the laws on euthanasia in Canada so that people who are not dying, who are not ill, can be killed by the state. All it takes is 2 signatures on a piece of paper of any two medical care providers. There's no judicial oversight. These are extrajudicial killings. I used to do divorces. I used to be a divorce lawyer, and it would take about a year to